I don't know if y'all live under a rock, but Honora is easily one of 2024's best films, recently winning the Palme d'Or. While looking through interviews about it, something interesting clicked.
Fellini's Nights of Cabiria, which I think you can see a lot of in Honora.
I've seen Nights of Cabiria. You showed me that one, like right when we met, I think.
Yeah, it was one of the influences on Honora.
Yeah.
The director of Honora, Sean Baker, mentioned a movie called Nights of Cabiria as an influence on this story. It's not super obscure or anything, it's a Fellini film, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and when I heard him say that, a light bulb went off. I couldn't believe that I hadn't made that connection, and it made me appreciate this film on a whole new level.
It's so interesting to me that Honora uniquely draws from its main inspiration, but there's a depth to Honora's homage that really feels genuine. Unlike other recent films that take inspiration but fall short. Honora, I feel, respects its roots without simply mimicking them, creating something that stands entirely on its own. So at its core, Nights of Cabiria isn't just an old Italian movie. It's a powerful look at an unforgettable lead who, like in Honora, happens to be a sex worker. Sean Baker also mentions that Nights of Cabiria is one of Fellini's films that deserves more attention. He explains that the film offers an early, deeply empathetic portrayal of sex work, and it's incredibly moving. So the film opens with a jarring, visceral moment. Cabiria, after sharing a seemingly good day with a man she trusts, is just suddenly shoved into a river and robbed, like right there on the spot. And it's so shocking because it creates a powerful juxtaposition between the beauty of her hopeful day and the cruelty of her reality, serving as a sharp cinematic hook that thrusts us into a narrative challenging our assumptions and emotional boundaries. For a film of its era, this is a bold introduction, both narratively and visually, and it sets the tone for the journey ahead. From there, Cabiria's story unfolds as a sequence of hardships, but what captivates us is not just her suffering, but her resilience. She is funny, fierce, and heartbreakingly vulnerable. Her performance refuses to allow her to be reduced to just a mere victim. Anyways, instead, she becomes a lens through which we explore the ways cinema captures the complexity of human dignity, even in the most dehumanizing circumstances. So by the time the credits rolled, her optimism, I was so moved just by the whole ending, I could not stop bawling my eyes. So it's amazing watching Honora and I feel like, wow, this is so mid. It's so much like that 1957 Italian film. Because by the end, we're not left with the idea that Honora will be okay, but instead come to realize she was never okay to begin with. In both Honora and Cabiria, we're drawn into the lives of people on society's margins, witnessing the chances they take to rise above their situations. Both films showcase these characters' inherent worth and dignity while also exposing our own complicity in their suffering. Just as the audience laughs at the dreams revealed from Cabiria's mind, or even when we might chuckle as Annie battles two men twice her size, because it's almost like a slapstick kind of inspired sequence, because there's scenes that do feel like you're watching something out of Looney Tunes. But the laughter catches in our throats when these women's raw emotional pain finally erupt on screen, making us question whether we've been complicit in trivializing their suffering.
I've heard a lot of people tell me that they feel bad for laughing when the movie's over. I don't know if
I didn't feel bad at all. Oh. Yeah, no. Okay. I never regret laughing.
Unless you're Jimmy Kimmel.
Cringe.
Which ultimately brings us back to a central question. Why must women like Cabiria and Annie endure such cruelty? After watching them fight for a better life and bring beauty into a world that only sees them as less than, shouldn't they be met with safety and compassion? Ultimately, we're left asking, if they were ever to meet a truly kind soul, would they recognize it, or would they turn away, fearing further heartbreak? If you haven't seen these films yet, be cautious with the explicit sex scenes in Honora, but I highly recommend checking them out. God bless.